Right. So would you say you guys stick to a formula now? You found a good formula and stick to it, or are there more things that you'd like to do with Cannibal Corpse?
I mean, you know, we're always going to do something subtly different, but, you know, it is what it is. You know, if you listen to all 11 Cannibal, you know what you're going to get for the most part. I mean, it's changed slightly over the years, of course, you know, but I think it's a matured change, and you know, it's just a progression, and I think that, you know, we've stuck to the formula for the most part, you know. I mean, you know, some people, you know, might like the old stuff more, the new stuff more, whatever. I mean, as long as they like, you know, something in there, you know, which seems like that's the good thing about Cannibal, is there's not just one album that people go, oh, well, that's obviously the album that's the best album. And it's like, no, well, you know, this guy will tell you that album, this guy's going to tell you this album, that guy's going to tell you. Before you know it, all 11 albums were named, you know, for a favorite album for different various fans, you know. So I think that is that's really cool that you know, that we can, you know, just maintain that, and you know, and try to write good music, and you know, not just rely on our past or whatever. But yeah, I think I'm going off on a tangent here, but I forgot even the main point of the question. So
that's okay. Now, how does it feel to have a character in your band that had a cartoon character in a death metal cartoon being based off of that?
It's awesome, man. I mean, that's just like, you know, it just one of the added things, you know, like, yeah, we've been around long enough to influence some people, and, you know, when we found out that, you know, Brendan was a really huge fan of Cannibal Corpse and all that, the, you know, the creator of Metalocalypse, and, you know, that he loves Cannibal, and, you know, that yeah, I mean, you know, it's almost obvious when you see, you know, Nathan, that you know, but then with hearing it from his mouth, that, yeah, you know, pretty much that's, you know, they modeled him off of George, you know, and so it's definitely flattering, and it's an awesome thing. I mean, you know, it's just kind of just another thing to kind of keep us in the public eye, I guess, you know, and you know, so yeah, it's remarkable, because, you know, we've been around the 22 years, and we just, you know, and as people, I think we really feel that we're the same kind of, you know, people, just a little older, you know, nothing's really changed us, you know. I mean, we're just doing what we do, and we're, you know, but you know, but yeah, when we see things like that and go, yeah, I guess, you know, and hear, you know, of all the bands that say, oh, big influence on us, and, you know, you go, wow, yeah, we've been around long enough, we've been around a long time, you know, that, you know, that we can, you know, influence people in different ways and all that, and then to, you know, to be associated with, you know, something like a Metalocalypse, or, you know, whatever, the Ace Ventura and all that, that's just, it's awesome, you know, it's really, really cool.
Now, does it feel a little bit weird to know that they actually got a higher chart position than most of the bands?
Well, it is weird, because, you know, when you look, yeah, when you think of it, then everyone's like, yeah, the biggest death metal band in the world is not a real band in a sense. You know, sure, they are. Obviously, they can go and play. That's cool that they do that. But, you know, it's a made-up cartoon band, and they're the biggest death metal band in the world, you know, like record sale wise and all that kind of thing, you know. So it is kind of weird, I guess. But I mean, I guess we just look at it like, you know, it's just going to help us. It's going to help the genre, you know. I mean, so it is weird though.
So what would you say is the most essential piece of gear that you use in your drum kit?
That's a good question, but I mean, I guess everything's essential, you know. It's
like, what would you not be able to live without?
That's a tough one, you know, because I always thought I wouldn't be able to live with a lot of things, you know, and I'm trying not to be that way, you know, trying not to be that way, because, you know, if you feel that way, then if something goes wrong or something, then what? Then you're, you know, and I was like that way a lot, you know, with certain things, you know, like pedals, or, you know, snare drum, or cymbals, or sticks. I mean, you know, really everything, you know, because everything is important on your kit, you know. But, you know, like, I would have never thought I'd be using the different pedals, and I've just switched over to a new brand of pedals. I was using Axis forever, and now I'm using a different brand, and, you know, so, you know, I just try not to, I'm trying not to be that way, you know. I'm trying to be like, oh, okay, something's up, you know, we can't, you know, my pedals are broke. Well, then, yeah, I can easily go, well, I can't play, you know. I mean, but that can't be my attitude. It's got to be like, oh, well, we have to, what do we have to do to make the show move on?